All right, you guys, it's June 4th. I rehearsed that ahead of time because I hate not knowing what the date is every time. Okay, it's Tuesday. Team Bloom call. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Susan Leenstra. We're just going to jump right into this. So every single Tuesday night, we come here. This better be life-changing. Hopefully it will be. Okay, seriously though, every single Tuesday night, we come here and we meet as a team and we go over like how to invite or how to train up new coaches, all these kinds of things, right? All of these strategies for building a business. I am here to say that this call is more important than any strategy that you could ever read about or anything. It's all about your mindset. So for those of you who maybe are new to the team or who didn't start back with me 3 years ago, I'm going to give a little bit of background. So when I joined this business, I was a single mom. And I was in love with the programs. I joined and I went diamond like 60 days after I joined as a coach. Then I have hit Success Club 10 every single month since I signed up. So I had to do the math. That's like 38 months and in Success Club 10, never missing a month. So if I said that's like my, what do you call it? Portfolio, like that's my thing. So if I had a strategy for that, would you guys want to know it? Of course you would, right? Like we're all going to raise our hands because just like I do now, if I see someone who's excelling in the business, I'm going to go watch every single training that they have because I want to know how to do it. We all want to know that. However, if information was all that's necessary to be successful in this business, we would all be in the Millionaires Club and we'd all have six-pack abs. Like bottom line, you guys, all of the information we need is already out there. I'm sorry, but you could watch training videos 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's nothing out there that you don't have access to already, but none of us are at our goals yet, which is why it's not just about information. It's about mindset. And that's where it actually starts before any strategy will be successful. And just for the next like 30 minutes, just imagine that what I'm saying is true, okay? Even if you fully don't buy into it, just imagine, okay, if what she's saying is true, then what do I need to change? So start by thinking of a goal that you have had in the past that you haven't accomplished yet. Like I really want you to think about that. And it can be as simple as you have never hit Success Club before. A really good goal is to hit Success Club. Maybe you've never hit Success Club 10. Maybe you want to be an Emerald coach. I'm not talking about big goals like you want to be Premier or be elite. Like what's a goal that you haven't hit before? Really think about that. Okay? Now, imagine that goal like a tree. So you have a tree. Here's the big green part up at the top, right? All the leaves, all the fruit. Then you have the trunk and you have the roots. Okay, well, the tree has to grow down first. Like it has to have roots and grow down before it can grow up. We all know how a tree works, right? So the green fruit and the leaves are the strategy, but the roots are your mindset. You have to have the right mindset before any strategy will work in your business. And I know that you guys know what I'm talking about here because I have the same thing where I'm like, I'm doing all the right things and it's not working. Like what's going on, right? Y'all know what that is. Well, that's all comes back to the roots and to the mindset and having that first. So think of that goal. And we're going to go into this training right away. So there are 3 stages. Like I actually want you guys to write these down. 3 stages of mindset. And I want you to identify which one you are. Like I have been doing this and this is a very powerful exercise. Number 1 stage is it's possible for somebody else. And I know we've all been there. Oh yeah, that's possible for somebody else. Okay, that's stage 1. I'm going to talk fast. You guys can re-listen if you can't write it all down. Stage 2, it's possible for me. It is possible for me, but how? It's possible for me, but how? And I really hope that's kind of like where we are on this team. I hope that we can look at other people who are hitting the goals and be like, okay, it's possible for me. I know, but like how are they doing it? Hopefully that's where we are. And number 3 is it's inevitable for me. It is inevitable for me. Now let's go find the steps. Okay. Which one are you? Like really think about this. It's possible, but for somebody else. it's possible for me, but how? Or it's inevitable for me. Now, what are the steps? Every single month, it is inevitable for me to hit Success Club 10. It is not an option not to. Like, and that was for me personally. You guys, I was a single mom and I cried every single time I dropped Cooper off at daycare. It was inevitable for me to hit Success Club 10. Okay. So if you are in stage 1, it's possible, but for somebody else. If you're there, it's okay. I actually think that this is a continual journey where you might be at like stage 3, you're there, and then something happens and you're like, oh, like back down to stage 1. I do that all the time. Even now, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Okay, take a deep breath, Sue. Like, you know what you're doing. Just take a chill pill, right? We all, like, I feel like no matter how long you're in this business, it happens. So if you don't believe you can, if you really don't think that it's possible for you, strategy doesn't even matter. In this stage, if you're there, you want it super bad. Like, you actually do want it to be possible for you, right? You want to hit Success Club 10. You want to be premier. You want to be elite. You want this to be your full-time job, or you want to make like $1,000 a week. But oh my gosh, my mom is texting me right now that she's having a hard time going to the bathroom, sitting on the toilet because she's doing Tony Monday Fix. So it's a little distracting. You know, like when you work out your booty and it's like, oh, you're like trying to get on the toilet. Oh my gosh, mom. Okay. When you're in this stage, you're also a lot of times thinking like, what would it be like to be somebody who it's possible for? Like, how many of you guys watched that trip to Greece? Those top 10 coaches on that trip last month. I was watching them thinking, what would it be like to be somebody who's on that trip? So when you're in this stage, a lot of times you're like, what would it be to be somebody? Okay. So to go from stage 1, where you think it's possible for someone else, to go to stage 2, where you know it's possible for me, but how? You either have to have some sort of huge, there's like crying in the background. You have to have some sort of huge life issue where it's like, it forces you to be like, all right, now it's possible for me. And I've had people be in this business where like their husband lost their job or something all of a sudden, and they're like, oh, bam, you bet they're going to sell challenge packs that week, right? So lots of times something can just switch where you go from, okay, now it's possible for me. Or the other thing that will move you from stage 1 to stage 2 is the bottom line is that you realize you have to stop explaining away other people's success just because you think they have some special circumstances or a special set of qualities that you have decided is not possible for you, that is out of your reach. I'm going to say that one more time because this is a choice and you can make this choice tonight. You have to decide to stop explaining away other people's success just because you think they have some special circumstance or set of qualities that you have decided is out of your reach. When you say that to yourself and when you believe that about yourself, you're saying that your success is based on something outside of yourself and something external. That is not a good place to be. That is one way to quickly lose the joy in this business, to think that it's outside of your control. Like, I've been there. I frequently go back there, especially when I'm on my period. It's not a good place to be coaching from. Okay. Here's why that is just plain bullshit. It's not external. The brain actually has a search function. Okay, we're going to go into some science here. It's programmed by what we focus on. So just like the internet, it's like, Google search bar, except it's programmed by what we choose to focus on. So, it's like when you get pregnant and then you look around you and everybody else in the world is like pregnant, right? You guys have had that before if you've been pregnant? I feel like everyone has had that. Or if you like go buy a car, then, you get in the car, you drive it off the lot and everybody has that car. Sometimes even the same color, same everything. Everyone has that car all of a sudden. Okay, when we all know that's not actually the case. Not everyone went and bought the car that day. This is actually explained by the reticular activating system. And it's in your brain. It's a formation of neurons. It starts up in the upper midbrain and goes down to the lower. It controls habituation and it decides what stimuli is important and what can be discarded. So we get to decide what it says is important. So we're going to see stuff, and depending on what we focus on, it's going to say either, yes, that's important, or no, it's not. So if you decide to focus on your goals only being possible for someone else, you're going to see evidence of that everywhere. Like legit. If you think that that girl over there can hit Success Club 30, but you can't, you are going to see evidence everywhere that it's not possible for you to hit Success Club 30 in June. But Sharon can, but Susan can, but you know what I mean? Like you are going to see that everywhere. But if you choose to believe and to focus on your goals, that it is possible for you, you are going to see evidence of that everywhere. Your belief, this is science too, like seriously, go Google it. This is like, yeah. Your belief activates the system in your brain, and you will start to see resources, opportunities, options, new creative ways to do stories, new creative ways to post, new fun ways to run challenge groups. You're going to see all of those things everywhere when really they're already there. You're just missing it. You're just not seeing it because of what you're choosing to focus on. So to go from step 2 to step 3, because that's what we all want, right? We all want to go from knowing that it's possible for me, but how, to it is inevitable for me. Now let's go find the steps, okay? And let's just say, because if you're on this call, you're working the business. You wouldn't be here with me on a Monday evening if you're not serious about running this business. It's like a crazy show up in here. Okay, so if you're here, your goal is to hit Success Club. That's your goal for June. It's June 4th. It is 100% inevitable and possible for every single person on this call to help 3 people still, okay? It just is. So let's work off of that goal as a team. This wasn't in the plan, but let's just do this. Okay. Now I know we're not focusing on the system, but we're gonna, just because it's the way to get the mindset. Write this down or re-listen to the call. So FACT, F-A-C-T. There's 4 points, okay? You can remember it by the word, by whatever acronym thingy, fact. If you do this, if you can do these 4 steps, it is a fact you will hit Success Club this month. Just is. Telling you right now. Okay, number 1, F. Focus on your wins. After this call, every single person, it's not going to take that long. You're going to go write down 35 wins tonight. You are going to activate that reticular activating system. You're going to activate it tonight. And then instead of like being overwhelmed by like, you know, it's June 4th and I'm here sitting at 0 Success Club points, just like every other month. Okay, so you're sitting here at 0 and you want to get to here to 5, right? Instead of being overwhelmed by the gap that is where you still have to get through, you are going to be encouraged and optimistic because you have just chosen to activate that part in your brain that says, these are all of my wins. Oh my gosh, this is how I'm going to do it. It's inevitable. I'm going to do it. It really, really does work. Remember, I said just, even if you don't believe what I'm saying, just pretend like you believe it. Just try it. Okay? So number 1, F, focus on your wins. Number 2, A, ask useful questions. I think this is so important, and I think for this one especially, like it reminds me of personal development. Ask useful questions. When you ask a question, your brain is going to come up with an answer. So really pay attention to the questions you're asking yourself. How are you talking to yourself? If you're asking questions like, why is it possible for her and not for me? I've asked that question. I feel like everyone's probably asked that question. Why her? Why not me? Your brain's going to answer that question. If you're saying, why can't I lose the weight? Why can't I hit Success Club? Why can't I rank advanced? Why can't I be diamond? Why can't I be star diamond? Your brain is going to answer that question. And that's not a fun place to be. Like, nobody wants to be not having fun in this job. But those kind of questions are going to steal the joy right out from under this business. So instead, ask questions like, what resources do I have? Doesn't matter what they have or what you think that they have. What resources do I have? Because I can tell you one thing, the answer to that question is you have an entire team. You have an upline. I know you have an upline. If your upline isn't working, then come to me. We've got a whole team here. If you have a question, like Naomi is so good about like dropping questions in Team Bloom on Facebook. she utilizes that page. Like there's resources. It's called YouTube. It's called Google. Like everything is Googleable. So what resources do you have? The next thing is, what can I control? There is so much you cannot control. So instead of focusing on everything you can't control, what can you control? Ask yourself those kinds of questions. So F, focus on your wins. A, ask useful questions. 3, the C stands for coach. Get a coach. In other words, we all have a coach. And if your coach is not currently active, which is pretty rare on this team, then go to the next person. Come to me, like we've already talked about. Like, go to the team page. Go pretend like Lindsay Matway is your coach and go watch all of her trainings that are on YouTube. I did that. Like, for me, everyone signs up in a different way, you know what I mean? And if you don't have someone maybe who you like are actually friends with in real life or who you knew ahead of time, you might be best off like straight up find a top coach that you jive with, go on YouTube and look up all their trainings and watch them all. There's no excuse for not understanding something, you know, there's just not. Like, I know maybe that sounds a little bit like tough love, but it's just the truth. Okay, get a coach. Number 4, T. Yep, we're on T. Take things off your plate. If it doesn't serve you, get it out. Be successful by getting rid of the shit. I'm not even kidding. If you are watching Netflix, oh, baby, you better have done that power hour, or don't, but then don't complain about it, right? Don't say you don't have time if you're watching Netflix, or just say it's not a priority to me. Tonight, I'm going to be totally honest. I probably should work, right? I'm not at Success Club 10, but I've chosen to set aside time to watch Netflix with Derek. So I'm not at all bashing Netflix, guys. Like, hello, nope, not doing that. But I am just saying, like, really examine, like, what you're saying, why you're saying it's not working, and see what you can eliminate. Because a lot of times it's actually about saying no to stuff so that you can make other things a higher priority, right? Like, it's a constant balancing act. And that's why, too, I feel like if you have a coach or if you have someone you can talk to, they can maybe talk you through, like, ways that you can, you know, like, work in pockets. Like, Megan's like a rock star at working in pockets. So if you really are working another job or just super busy, she's the person to go to. She's done a training on this. So the T is really take stuff off your plate. If it doesn't serve you, get rid of it, especially the negative self-talk. If you can master these 4 steps, then when you hit that roadblock, instead of going to step 2, which is, yeah, it's possible, but how, you're going to inevitably go to step 3, which is inevitably I can. Like, yes, I just hit this roadblock. Yes, this just happened in my personal life. Yes, my schedule just got messed up with this or whatever it is. But you are going to still know it is inevitable for me that I'm about to be successful in this, that I'm about to hit Success Club no matter what. Like, that's just what's going to happen because you're going to find another way because your mind has been trained to do that. So I realize that that was a lot of information, but I think that it is so key, you guys. Like, I'm not kidding. This is not like I didn't have these steps until recently, but from the first month that I signed up, it was inevitable. Like, I just kept telling myself, no matter what, you hit Success Club 10. And I always have. And I really firmly 100% believe that if you apply this, it will change your world. Like, it'll change everything for you. And we still have 10 minutes left, so I'm glad for that. I'm going to open it up for any questions. So I think that you can unmute yourself. So just unmute yourself and ask a question. We can go over it. Oh, I can look in the chat too. If you have any questions, go ahead.
No. So I don't know how related this is, but what are your, how many of us are talking at the same time?
Go ahead.
So I think right now, like, I feel like I have like 7 or 8 people who are signed up with a free 2 weeks, but translating that into a challenge pack because people are keen to do Beachbody on Demand, but to get them to like transition to the challenge pack, I'm like, how do I do that? So my question to myself, I'm like, how do I continually, encourage that without being like pushy. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, you guys sell on Kijiji afterwards if you don't want it. Kijiji is something in Canada we have. It's like Craigslist, but not so sketchy. Anyways, I'm like, sell it on Craigslist if you don't want the Shakeology afterwards, and then you still get a sweet deal on the rest of it. But other than that, I'm like, do you have any tips, like pointers on, like, because I think that will be the difference, because like you don't get success points for selling Beachbody on Demand, right? Like it doesn't do any good, really.
I think it all essentially comes down to like almost like a sense of belief, because I did the same thing when I first started. I ran a free group, and now for me, the transition that I had to make was I had to see myself as truly, like, even though I wasn't there yet, I was a business owner. And I was like, how much do I want to be making a year? Break that down. How much am I worth an hour? Okay, I don't have time to pour into these people who are literally just wanting my time for free. And so I had to just, after like, it was like a year and a half that I did that, and I had such a hard time like converting it over. So I had a free group that was like secret. And then I had like a challenge group that I was putting people in who bought challenge packs. And so then I just started saying like, listen guys, like you got to buy a challenge pack. So for me, it was more of a mental thing to realize that this wasn't worth my time, and that just more belief in the product and in myself. And I do think that it's really important to be adding value. And I think free groups are great. And so I actually started running free groups that were about anything but fitness. So I would do like a marriage group or something, and then I would build relationships with those people, and then they'd watch my Facebook more, and then it would transition over to like them asking about the challenge group. But I also don't think there's anything wrong with what you're doing, because that's how I built my business. Just looking back, I'm like, man, for me personally, I knew that I just lacked that belief in myself. But I also think, like I said, it's a nice way to get started. So
right. So like these people have bought like the 2-week free thing, so I think they're keen. I think they're gonna miss it after they don't have it anymore. Mm-hmm. But I won't be. I told them at the beginning, I was like, I'm only doing this one time a year. Yeah. 1 week, once a year, that's it.
That's a good idea. Yeah. And it's such a good deal right now. I mean, it's $20 off. That's nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Just gotta convince them it's worth the dollars, because there's a lot of people who are also saying like, oh, I'm doing this shake or that shake already, and I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about and what you're having. I don't know if it's better or not. Just try it and see. But
right. Yeah, and I know you know this, but also, guys, don't forget there's always the 30-day money-back guarantee. So, yeah. People who doubt Shakeology, I'm just like, until you try it, there's nothing I can say that will actually convince you. Probably.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions tonight?
Yeah. I was gonna. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry.
Go ahead, Kate.
I was just gonna say, so where I live, we have horrible service and horrible internet. Like, it's even hard for me to get my on-demand to work sometimes. So I usually have to do it on my phone, which I'm blind, so that makes it kind of hard to do sometimes too, but I do it. But that's kind of run into an issue for me with like selling the challenge packs, like selling on demand. Like,
yeah,
it's that they're like, well, I don't get any internet, so that just doesn't even work for me. Mm-hmm. Which I totally understand that. I mean, we went without internet forever here, but well, I don't know. Has anyone else kind of ran into that issue, or how do you sell? A lot of people they to try the Shakeology. They're like, it's whatever. I know you can still, if you sell the Shakeology, you can still hit the hi buddy.
So when I started coaching, there was no on demand. So this is 100% not an issue. Like, you just sell them a 21-day fix challenge pack. It comes on DVD. They get the Shakeology. They get the containers. Like, don't even talk about on demand then. Be like, this program is going to change your life. I bought 21-day fix, and then I loved that, and then I bought Hammer and Sizzle, and I loved it, and I got 22 hardcore, and then they came out on demand, and I was like, I ain't buying that. That was fun. It was a fun, like, I rebelled against it for a couple months. So that's totally not a problem. Just pitch the actual physical DVDs, because $140, $160 for 21-day fix on DVD plus Shakeology is an amazing deal, for sure. So just start pitching that. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's cheaper I bought it back in 2015.
Yep. So don't even talk about on demand with those people then. Yeah.
What I do, since I don't have internet either, I do everything off of my phone. I just got like a lightning and an HDMI cord so I could hook it up to the TV, and I just stream from my phone to the TV because I'm blind too. So that's what, and I don't like staring at the phone being like, okay, I just stream it from my phone to the TV through an HDMI cord.
That's awesome. Cool.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for pitching in. Kayla, did you have something to say? No?
Did I? Sorry, I was typing. I'm on my phone and I'm at the Y and it's really loud.
Yeah, you're totally good.
Now I forget what I was gonna say because it was about what Naomi was asking. Oh, I was gonna say, you have to have that solid belief in Shakeology yourself to know that it's worth the money and not be apologetic about the price of it. But then also, some people are just turned off by the word shake. They automatically think like Slim Fast or whatever. So I sell them the challenge pack then with the Energize and Recovery. And they're a little more willing to buy something that's going to help them with their workouts because for whatever preconceived ideas they have about the Shakeology. So that's just something you could try too.
Okay, good idea.
I was going to ask you, do you know if they're phasing out the DVDs? I know that's...
I don't know. Hopefully not, but possibly. Hopefully they just, I know they're not making any of the new programs on DVD, but I really hope that they will continue to keep the ones that are already on DVD, but.
Well, and she brought up a good point about you can, in the chat, that you can download too. That's another option that you can download. And we have AirPlay, so we have an Apple TV, and you could do the cord too to stream it to your TV. You know, if you are having internet problems, which I'm sure you guys have seen before that we have really not so great internet, but that's what I've done before. And when I'm on vacation, like I'll download 4 or 5 workouts to my phone and just stream it that way. So.
Yep. Exactly. Okay. Anything else, guys? Okay. Well, I really hope that topic resonated with you. And I'm going to say it again, that I think that if you can grasp what we talked about, you will hit Success Club. You just will. You will every single month. Whatever your goal is, you will achieve it. Like, it's inevitable. So Heidi, I'm sad that you missed this call, but I know Heidi's like hustling, moving across the country, and she's still here. Okay, I'm going to hit end record.